Monday and Wednesday night is New Course Spotlight. If you've got a course that you want to showcase out and get it out and help some of the top affiliates out here that are tuning in, watching it live or by replay, learning about your course to start promoting it, get scheduled. You can reach out to the customer service team. They'll get you on the calendar to get things up and going. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Kathy Lawson, our host for the New Course Spotlight, and take it away, Doc. It's all yours.
All right, are we ready to go with recording, Sandra? Is that all set up?
Yep, you are good to go.
Okay, very good. Well, let me spotlight Haleh here. Remember, where did she go? I don't see her right now. Okay. If you find her to spotlight, oh, there she is. Here you are. You are, and you're in your plane too. I love that. All right. Well,
especially for Tim. I did this especially for Tim.
Yes. Welcome to our Wednesday night course spotlight session. I'm Kathy Lawson. I'm the Chief Knowledge Officer for the Great Discovery. And I gotta tell you tonight, we're gonna change things up a little bit because normally what we do is I introduce our wonderful guest speaker who talks about their class, but Haleh wanted to do something a little different. She wanted me to interview her. So we're gonna do this as a little interview. And at this point, I'm not sure you know what I'm going to ask you. So here we go. We're putting you on the hot seat in your jet. So let's start with, you know what, just tell us about yourself. Normally I read a great bio, but I read your bio and I will fill in something if you don't say it all, but please tell us about yourself first. Give us that bio and then we'll talk about your amazing course.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you for allowing me to change it up because I'm all about getting the energy, rise up, and interaction. I'm all about interaction. So I thought this will create more interaction with people. And me, always, they call me the black sheep out of everything. So I got to be different, right? So here I am being different. First of all, I want to thank Tim, Sandra, and yourself for such an amazing platform and a time and space to allow me to be here. And I want to thank each and everyone that is joining us tonight. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to be here with us. It means a lot to me. I'm grateful and thankful. I will start by saying my name is Haleh. I usually say how it's pronounced because believe me, I've got all sorts of names. It's Haleh, like hallelujah. So I'll go way back. I came to America when I was in third grade. I came from Tehran, Iran. My dad worked with the Shah, and when the revolution happened, they tore down our place, literally took everything. Basically stranded and homeless. We came to America. My dad just shipped us to America, and my mom was at a very young age when she got engaged to my dad, like around 14 and 16, around that ballpoint. And her friends were in Beverly Hills, so she wanted to live in Beverly Hills. And I've never felt such an I felt out of place. I didn't feel like I belonged there. I had to be this princess, doll up, and be something that I'm not. Because at a young age, I had this knowing, this feeling that I felt different. And it's like, you know, in your gut that when you see people hurting, and I was a young age, it was hurting me. I felt it deeply. And I kept on saying there's something way beyond. They can live way beyond it's giving to them. So I created this universe that you can live up to 200 plus years in optimal health. That was how I felt. That was my knowing. And with that, I carried that with me. I needed to financially survive. So fast forward, I ended up working in billion-dollar companies, corporations as a paralegal, legal secretary, executive assistant. Those were not my passion at all. I didn't enjoy it, but I needed to financially survive. And coming from a Persian culture, I had to be a doctor or an attorney or something with that high esteem. And I didn't want to do that. So I settled as a paralegal, and that was it. But meantime, I was always about high performance and self-development all along. I'm gonna fast forward in my 20s. That's when it hit me really hard in my 20s. I ended up marrying someone, and it was domestic violence. Because it comes from the root, right? I ended up having like really horrible relationships, constantly going into bad relationships back to back. My dad was never around, so I ended up picking the wrong man. And on the subconscious mind, I didn't know at that time I'm doing this. So I ended up marrying one. I didn't listen, and I ended up marrying one. And I'm just blessed to be here. It was like a horror movie. So I was in it for 4 years in my early 20s. In 2008, I created my soulmate, my king, my rock, my everything. Was a blessing. I got married in 2010. I couldn't ask for anything more than that. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit about me having the worst relationship with money. Money became evil to me, and I hated money. Anything with money was like, don't tell me. Anything with sales is like, don't tell me. Um, because I saw that revolution, because my dad always was a provider, so my connection with that was not good. And because of that, I remember that even in my contract that I created my king, I didn't include money. I said, I don't want someone wealthy, because they kept on setting me up with these wealthy people, and it was all about materialistic. And with me, I wanted someone with a good heart. I wanted someone to love me for who I am, because I never loved myself. Be I had to be this Barbie doll, this made up person all along living in Beverly Hills, and that was not me. I never felt so out of place. I didn't feel the connection to myself, and I constantly criticized myself, and I didn't love myself. Although I was athletic, I was fit, and all made up, right? Um, it was, I'll just fast forward, in 2011. At that time, I worked in the cancer center for 14 years. One morning, regular work day, I got up to use the restroom. As soon as I put my foot on the floor, I went boom. I collapsed on the floor. And keep in mind, during this time, I lived a holistic lifestyle, because as I was sharing that at age 7, I had this knowing that you can live up to 200 years of age, right? That was my knowing, my the feeling. So I attracted all the stuff I wanted in my life in the holistic realm. I mentored with the greatest mind. One of my coaches was Louise Hay. Another one was Dr. Wayne Dyer. I coached with Bruce Lipton and Joe Dispenzo. And to just name a few, because that was my passion, so I ended up going to conventions in the holistic realm, and I got to meet them and be coached with them. And as a high performance, also, I was getting coached by Brendan Burchard, being one of his students. So I was doing all of this on my own because of my passion. However, in 2011, when I collapsed on the floor, I had no idea what's going on. I was all shaken up and I had no strength. I kept on struggling to get up. What's happening? What's going on? Why I can't get up? It was very scary. Positive me was shaken up. I was scared. Had vertigo, and I had no idea what's going on. My husband looked at me and was like, okay. He carried me to the restroom because I had to use the restroom. During those 3 months, I went through a lot of pain. I went through a lot of struggles. I I gained 20, was it 20, around 20, 22 pounds. I lost all that physical body I had, even my six pack that I worked hard for. Life turned upside down. I fell into depression. There was a point that I didn't even want to live anymore. And being said that, I know deep down in my heart, I had this light within me, this knowing from all these mentors. You name it, I've done. You name it, I've practiced. I've been coached. But at that time, I had to figure things out on my own. The medical field labeled me with an autoimmune of Hashimoto, chronic fatigue, chronic pain, Lyme's, fibromyalgia, scoliosis, asthma, you name it, I was getting labeled because once you get an autoimmune, everything just follows one thing after another. I refused to be the labels. I didn't own the labels. The subconscious mind kept on remembering that I'm more than the labels. It was challenging because there was a fight. The fear kicks in, but I kept pushing it back. But the fear kept on pushing forward because they wanted to medicate me and say, oh, it's because of your anxiety attack. It's because of this and that and that. And I'm just like blocking it all out. And after 3 months, I was back to work. Never, ever up to this date at 55. I gave in to any medication. I'm not saying it was easy. You name it. They made it so difficult. Even the holistic realm, all this different modalities, raw, vegan, vegetarian, detox this, take this. And one of the techniques that really worked with me was cell resonance quantum healing, which works with the subconscious mind. That there's stuff that triggers you, even if you're positive, that you don't even know that is triggering you. One of the labels of Hashimoto, which is a autoimmune of the thyroid, your cells attacking all of your organs in your body. My throat was shut. I didn't have a voice in the cancer center, or I would be fired. Patients loved me and I was with them, but I could not say a word. I would go in the restroom and start crying when I would see a patient, happy, joyful, and that next moment they were gone. I kept all of that inside of me, so it choked me up. Although I was positive, I didn't know until that day that it hit me hard. You see, each one of us, it hits us in a different time and place. Some people down the line, as they age in the hospital, they'll call it old age or it's genetic. But with me, I was really curious. I'm the researcher. I even know a scientist that cured his own cancer. So I've learned from him a lot as well. I didn't have this in my genes. I did a 23andMe because I was curious. Nowhere in my genes or genetic Was there an autoimmune or any of the labels that were given to me? So our emotions, because it's in the subconscious and the mind and the gut are connected, had a big role. So, and I learned a lot from Louise, one of my coaches, Louise, our beloved Louise Hay, that our thoughts are very important. It's our declaration, what we say, even that 1 second. So I know I took the lead, Kathy. I just went on.
That's okay. I think it's important that you gave us that background because it sets us up now for you to talk about your course. Now, the name of the course we're featuring tonight, although she has several out there, this one is called High Performance Morning Blueprint. So why don't you tell us, how that came about and what would a learner get from this course if they decide to take it?
Thank you. Thank you. I had a really passion for this course. There was a point, it's like, I do so much, I've learned so much. So what am I going to create? And everyone is telling me about my energy. So go ahead and just stick to that and focus on that energy. What is it that you do? And I wanted to make it simple. I remember how it was when I was in that condition. All it takes is simplicity. And I want to be that accountability to be that best friend, to be consistent and motivate you and inspire you. I had this up on the Great Discovery, this 1-page PDF. That's how I started. Because at that time I didn't have my course. And I'm like, I don't have a course yet. It's not ready yet. So I started with that 1-page PDF, and it only had 5 steps on there. 5 simple steps, as drinking water, brushing your teeth, grounding, hydration, journaling. So it was very simple. And people love that. However, everyone was like constantly texting me, emailing me, and I'm like, okay, I need to dig deeper into this. So let me go ahead and create the course. So that's how this course came about. It's 5 audios, and I made it an audio because it's easy. They can listen to it on the go. It's for high performers, busy lifestyle, because you keep going and not realizing, and one day your body needs rest and you say, what happened? Simple as a flu, as a cold, everything is just your body asking you to rest. So this high performance morning blueprint, I have a very special going on. It's usually 97, which is going for 47 right now. And it also includes, besides the 5 audios that you can listen to on the go, it has the gratitude, which is like 8:45. It has one about toothpaste. It may sound simple, but there's a lot more about this toothpaste, which is, I talk about it like 6 minutes and 30 seconds. And so hydration, which is 5 minutes and 48 seconds. And the 4th one is grounding, which is 5 minutes and 31 seconds. And the last one is journaling, 7 minutes, 10 seconds. I go deep into these as they've asked me. So, and the best part is my friend who is on this, actually she's somewhere on Zoom, she created the workbook for this. So she did a phenomenal job in creating this workbook. So that goes along with this as well.
So it's videos and then a workbook. So you
Yes.
watch, you listen, or not videos, it's audio.
Right,
and the workbook. So they would listen to the audio and then do the work in the workbook. So, and your audios are pretty short, so they can get through it, but it's probably the work in the workbook that you have to spend your time on. Is that fair?
Right. It's like for the gratitude, right? There's the workbook is right there with it too. Now I created this, it's either they can listen to it, because a lot of people say, I don't have time. I don't have time. You know, you hear it all the time, but this is Audible. You can listen to it on the go, and then you can do the workbook at another time. You know, it's like, so it works both ways.
Okay. And these are the practices that you have implemented for yourself that allowed you to basically transform what had happened in your life.
Right. It's just these steps are the foundation, basically. And you need to start like right here instead of someone giving you a full detox or telling you what to take, what, you know, it's like, let's start with the 5 simple steps and then we can get you to that because people get overwhelmed and you need little steps to take you there because hydration and the type of water and how much you drink is really important. So I emphasize on the audios. And so I took the 5 that is really important to move the needle for you. I had a client of mine that actually a couple of clients, it's amazing how a simple getting up like with the gratitude was difficult for them because they're so busy on the go. They're like, I don't have time to do it. Or they grab, as soon as they open their eyes, they grab the phone instead of taking that self-care for themselves. It takes practice. It's like building that muscle.
That's great. Okay, so I'm just watching the time. I know you have some other courses out there, right? So do you want to just briefly tell us the names of all of the courses you have out there? And is there an order in which people should take them? I know you said you had the one PDF, but just give us a rundown so we know kind of what the progression is, because I know some of them are free. So for the affiliates, you can lead people to the free courses. And then they can really get engaged with the material she's got and then move to the premium courses.
Thank you. Yes. So I started with that 1-page PDF and then I created the evening one because some people's like, I'm not a morning person. There's an evening one. Some people have trouble sleeping, you know, so I created one for the evening as well. And soon, heads up, there's more to come. There's one that for movement that is on the works too. And I put my book up there. So this book, I'll tell you really briefly how this came about. This is not about me. This is about the person. When my dad crossed over, it was in 2020, on Mother's Day, my dad crossed over. And I didn't know till I experienced it myself. And this is a long story, a story another time, my connection with my dad and my writing and the reading. I love books. I mean, I swim in books. I have tons of books.
But make that a course. That would be great. Your background, your hit, that would be a fantastic
About books? Yes,
Yes.
yeah, I love books. I started like in my own language. I read my Farsi at a young age when no one was reading, and I read like the scientific, very hard book. So I have this connection with books and writing. I always wanted to write. But as I said, yeah, I'll do a course about that because that's a story by itself. So
Yeah.
when he crossed over, this divinely got downloaded. And I didn't know till I experienced them myself. And it's like each chapter is basically like 1 to 2 pages, and it's a place to write, ponder on. And this is about the person, as I said, it's reading it. So one of the chapter in the book, I created an audio on that chapter. So I'm giving, that's also on the Great Discovery. It's called The Commands, and that's up on the Great Discovery. So that's another thing that's up. I'm super excited that I have the channels. I've been wanting to have a membership, but it never happened. I never found the right timing, the right place until the Great Discovery. So as soon as the channel was up, you know, I took it, I took the lead, and I have 3 memberships on there on the Great Discovery. And I created, one of it is called Fix Your Energy Fast, because that's my audience, basically, because everyone's talking about where do you get your energy. So I created that one, and another one is Health Span with Haleh, which is my own branding, and I deliver massive value on each one of them. And the last one is the channel that I've been constantly, basically personal shopper guide for wellness and your health and wellness, because they asked me there's 100 types of vitamin C. Which one do you take? Or vitamin D, or anything they need, or it could be, let's say, an equipment, besides a supplement or a produce. I've been constantly asked because when I've learned like details that natural product, for example, when they say natural, there's 70 ingredients hidden in that natural product that is toxin. So there's a lot I know, and some vegetables they say have kale, but it has oxalates, which is not healthy for you, and spinach, which it says I had to find out the hard way, they say, about all these details that I know, which I share in my channels in the memberships. A lot of information that I know to share out the stuff I learned. Yes.
That's great. Now let me just pause. I know we're at the bottom of the hour, so if those of you are interested in going to Dr. Yervanka's session, now's the time to make that switch. But if you want to stay here, we're going to open it up for questions from all of you. So if you have a question or a comment, go ahead and raise your hand and we will we'll feature you. Don't be
apologize.
shy.
I'm about to jump on with Dr. Ivanka, but I just want to say, Haleh, excellent job. And also congratulations. I see you on the leaderboard again. So you're leading by example and you're just amazing. And so black sheep of the family, no, maybe great sheep. Come on now. God bless you.
Thank you. Dr.
Thank you.
Baker.
Thank you so much. Grateful.
All right. Who else? Else has any questions? We covered a lot, and by doing this, you actually provided a lot of the detail that many people ask. So there we go. We got Deepak. Go ahead.
Finally got my mic to work.
There you go.
No, Hannah, I just want to say thank you for sharing your story. I didn't know a little bit about your story before. It always just fills me up again with energy just hearing it and seeing your positivity, even through all the stuff that you've gone through, and just helping us get to that level. Because as you know, I'm always positive too. But like you said, sometimes it just hits us where you just need that other person to help you get back. So thank you for being that person.
Absolutely. Thank you.
This is Dr. Virgil. I am developing a program based on my personal experience with prostate cancer, two-time survivor, the work I do with prostate cancer survivors, as well as taking this to a wider audience of health and wellness. I'd like to follow up with you, talk with you about us exploring some things together.
I would be honored. Thank you.
All right. So my contact information, I reached out to Dr. TV. It's in the chat. It's drvirgil@gmail.com. And the phone number is 707-529-0026.
Thank
Got
you,
it.
Dr. Beasley.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Ron, I will. Go ahead. Gotta get off mute. Nope.
Haleh,
All right, there you are.
great course. I'm looking forward to taking your course. But you mentioned at what time of your life did you, pretty much come to realization that you weren't really happy and you weren't loving what you were doing?
That's a great question. When I had to be in Beverly Hills, that part, I started hating myself because I was always dolled up. I even remember I was so uncomfortable in my skin. I couldn't go anywhere without any makeup. And up to a point, that I met my king, my everything, that I started being truly myself without makeup, and he loved me for who I am. And I would say that's when it shifted, but it did also take a shift when Dr. Wayne Dyer and Louise Hay coached me personally. So that was a whole, it was a process. It wasn't overnight. I had to work on it. I had to practice. Up to now, I still keep a mirror next to me, and it says, Life Loves You. And it's a compact mirror by Louise Hay, because it has become a practice like brushing your teeth. Every morning I look at myself eye to eye and I say, I love you. As soon as I get up and before bed, I make sure I do that.
Beautiful practice.
Yes.
All right, other questions? Great, great. Love that. Love this. Any other
I
questions?
just want to thank you. I'm in the car listening in traffic, but I want to thank you. And yes, every time I get to hear you, Haleh, when you chime in on the different calls, your spirit is always like elevated and, you know, contagious. So thank you. Thank you for sharing, because it takes a lot to just share what your journey has been with other people. Thank you.
Thank
I'd
you
like to
so much.
reiterate
That
that. I'd
meant
like
a
to,
lot. Thank
I'd like-
you. It
like
takes
to,
one
re- I'd like to
know. Thank you.
reiterate that too.
Is that Rick? Sorry. Oh, you were.
I'd like to reiterate that too, and just double up on that, because
Yep.
she's such an amazing, and I find she helps my spirit soar a bit.
That's great.
Thank you, Rick. Your sense of humor always shines me. Thank you.
Okay. Other questions or comments? There's lots of great stuff in chat. You need to take a look at
Oh my
that.
God, I gotta save it. Thank you everyone for the chat. Oh my God, I'm beyond grateful and thankful. I'm super deeply touched. Seriously.
Oh, Dr. Harris. Go ahead. Dr. Herbert Harris.
No, I was listening, and it's very interesting. I was listening with my eyes closed because you painted such a vivid picture of your journey. And I think you must do an audio book so that people can really see the vision and see what you were experiencing and help feel it. So thank you so very much. And I can't imagine the workbook must be a work of art. Okay. To really paint a picture for themselves, interpreting what you have shared.
Thank you so much. I felt every word, and it really, my heart just reaches out. It means a lot. Thank you. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone for being here and for sharing the love. It's been wonderful. And thank you, Haleh. That was really amazing, so inspiring and so heartfelt. I think we all benefit from your presence and your energy and your spirit. So, and we'll love your course because we get more of that. So you guys all check that out and pass it on to others. Tell them to come in and see her free courses, and then move on really quickly to her morning blueprint, because that'll be an amazing experience. So
Thank you. As I said, I am beyond grateful and thankful for you, Tim, Sandra, and everyone on here. I mean, I feel it all the way in my cells right now, and I'm speechless. This really, I can feel every word vibrating inside of me. It means a lot. It meant all of this. I feel the love, and I give it back 100 times more. And may it always, always remember to step in your heartbeat and live your life in your highest joy, highest excitement, and highest inspiration, because from that only, everything you want will be lined up, and you will be amazed how things will line up for you once you let go of that thought. And because the thoughts are the past, or the past or the future, and the moment that your heart is beating, that joy and excitement, that's what life is. And everything will develop when we step out of that fear. Thank you. Thank you so much. And let me save the chat. Thank you.
All right, thanks everyone. Have a great evening and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.